Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm here with Luke Bradley. He's got an incredible story to tell, and he will share with us his journey to faith and what God has done in his life. Bradley, Luke Bradley, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and your story to us?
How you going? My name's Luke Bradley. I'm a man of faith these days. I'd be nothing without God these days, and He's just answered prayers and blessed me so much in the journey that I've had. As soon as I figured out how to submit to His will and the ways of what He wants from me in my life, it's not all big dreams and extravagant things that you might think to take over the world, but it might be just to lead the family. And that's a big honour in itself, to be able to lead a family and your children to a better place and with Him.
And that's the most important thing. And God calls us to our families, and if we lead our family, then we're leading the most important people God's committed to us. So
our first mission is our family.
Yep.
And then the rest will get added on the more.
Do you have any maybe a history about your past you would like to share with us? Where did your journey begin?
My journey began in Perth, Western Australia. King Edwards, I was born. I was in hospital when I was a young fella because I felt really ill. Then from there, it was a pretty rough beginning actually. My mother was a stolen generation Aboriginal woman, and Australia was quite racist back in the day, and she had white kids, and she grew up in a beautiful family. She was blessed with a beautiful family, and so we got to grow up in a middle class life, upper middle class life. But Mum's Aboriginal heritage come out, and then we went back to the family, and then she from there opened doorways into the wrong paths and things like that. And
okay.
But everything works out in the end, so it's a good story.
So some of those wrong paths, what are some of those paths that?
Oh, just violent men, drugs and alcohol, just some real ugly situations that you find yourself in through life. I guess when your identity is stolen, so I got dragged through life as she was finding herself where she fits in society as a black woman or a white woman, or just as a person. You get accepted these days as a person, but back then you were labelled quite quickly, and you couldn't go further than what the person's thoughts of you were really in the culture it was. But it was
okay. Yeah. So, and what was how did that influence you growing up?
I found myself hanging around some really rough guys at one point in my life. People that had shot 2 police officers, people that were affiliated with, more than affiliated with bikie gangs, and but through the grace of God, I've come through the other end, and I'm just free of everything. I've got no ties anywhere. He's opened up doors to where you can't explain anything else, but it's just Jesus opened up the doors in the way.
Amen. Jesus can change any life, and He takes us where we're at, and He can just change any situation. And so you probably reached a very low point. Was there a low point in your life?
Lowest point in my life was after not learning my lessons that God had given me earlier on in my life. Falling back into sin deeply. I found myself homeless. I've got plenty of family I could go stay with and be around, but I wanted to deal with it myself. I had some growth to do. Like, I'd just given up, and I spoke to God every day. I was drinking a ridiculous amount of alcohol a day, but I'd sit there and I'd only talk to God. I would just isolate myself. But my relationship with God grew over this time, and in the end phased out drugs, alcohol, and replaced it back with my wife and family and kids. Blessed me with $400,000. Blessed me with all sorts of things, like everything that because I stayed faithful, He remained faithful to me through that trial. I just endured it, and I stayed faithful, and He remained faithful as he will honour you as he does as a good father.
Yeah, and so you went on this life. You used substance abuse, and then at the lowest point, did you come to a realization this is not the life you wanted, or what happened at that lowest point?
Lowest point, I thought it was punishment because I wasn't stewarding my life right. Because I spent some time studying the Bible. I'd done a pastor's course and studied the Bible for a year, and I was getting into it. I'd stopped drinking alcohol. Everything seemed all right, but I still had some chains on me. I was gambling quite a bit in my family life, and I was putting a lot of financial strain on my relationship. So I wasn't stewarding the family appropriately, and I think that he just showed me he could take anything away. Because life was sweet. I had the car, I had the house, I had the money coming in, I had, no complaints. But I was, not honouring my wife and lifting her up the way I should have. You know what I mean? And I think that he does, because corrections. You've got to understand God corrects you if He loves you. You've got to understand that the punishment in this life isn't just God not talking to you or no God. It's God saying, giving you a smack and telling you to straighten your act up. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be living like this. You're a citizen of heaven, and you're chosen, and you're my child, and you should be doing better, and you should be doing better.
Okay. So once God revealed that to you, there was a change. And what was that change? What is your life like now after the change?
Oh, it's blessing after blessing. The trial went for about a year. I was homeless for a year. Met some characters, stayed away from it, and I just found myself getting into a deep relationship. He put me in a position where I couldn't do anything else but rely on Him. And I'd get up and thank Him in the morning, and just simple things when you're homeless, like food and showers and that. You can survive. It's a rough life, and there's a lot of rough people that don't really care for you or have any thought for you. There's no love. But so the love I found, I was that isolated that I seriously could only have a decent conversation with God Himself. And our relationship grew to the point where I know that I need Him in every aspect of my life, and to know that without Him I'm nothing. I'm just a grey spot, just a speck of dust. Who am I but a flea, as David said.
Wow. So that's a revelation. That's an incredible revelation that you came to the point, I would say, in humility, realizing your dependence upon God. You cannot do it without Him. And then He started working in your life in probably an incredible way, as I know. And what's the relationships? How did He restore you? How did you?
Well, the worst part of my life was 2 years ago. I've been back with my wife for 14 months, and I count every day as a blessing with her. I'd lost her for a year. I'd pushed her to the point where I broke her spirit. God revealed to me, and I used to beg God. God took me on some spiritual journeys when I was on the streets. I was begging Him to restore her spirit. He told me when she was dropping me off at a hotel once when I needed a lift somewhere. He said, "Why are you offering me a burnt spirit? You got to realise our actions in this life are offerings to the Lord. So be a pleasing aroma to Him, as it's written in the Bible. You've got to, all your actions, your thoughts, you've got to take every thought captive. Once you submit them all to God and put them in line with God's will, you find yourself being a cleaner person. And I've always prayed for a clean mind and clean hands and a pure heart. And I've always been a big-hearted fellow. But when everything's aligned with Him and aligns with His good and perfect will, the more you read the Bible and understand that it's Jesus Christ is the way, truth, and life. When He means life, you've got to meditate on the Word today. There's all hints throughout the Bible when He tells you to do these things. When it all aligns, doors just open and blessings, the windows of heaven open when you tithe, things like that. But the blessings become even more when you align with God and just think of Him when you submit every thought to God. Amazing things happen when you're actually meditating on the Word night and day, submitting every thought, because this world will throw things at you. The way it's programmed is to derail you from your relationship with God. And it's an ugly place to be when you're godless, and it's a scary place. You'll find that you won't be under as much attack because the devil's got you where he wants you. He's got you in a place where you're comfortable, and he knows that you're going to not be with God. But when you understand that, when you align it all with God and get your thoughts in order, your life in order, and one of the hardest things for me was to get my spirit, because my spirit was strong at the time, and it wasn't aligning with my world, my flesh. That's where I'm sort of at now. The struggles are nowhere near as they are, but when it all aligns, the blessings are just immense, and the feeling, the presence of God, you feel a lot, and just the intimacy with God, that intimacy which He wants with you, that relationship.
So you grew, and how would you describe maybe the future? Because you had a past, it changed the present, and Jesus gives us a new future. How would you describe the new future you envision?
The new vision is, I've been looking after 70 orphans over in Africa for the last 7 years. I've been funding them, even though I was homeless and that. I only had a little bit of money, but a little bit of money here is a lot to them over there. They only have 1 meal a day, which is unfortunate. They sleep on the ground and they don't have heating. They don't, And God's blessed me. God's blessed me with a substantial amount of money, and I want to start a non-for-profit organisation. I'm going to set it up properly with the Australian government, and with the Australian government, you can get dollar for dollar back. So I'll filter all the money into the non-for-profit. I've doubled the money. I haven't been a lazy servant. I can get that back at tax time, and I can do what I want to do when that time comes. But I want to be able to build them an orphanage, get them fresh water, be able to support them for a sustained long amount of time, and I'll get the money back. And I want to steward the money well as well. I just don't want to waste it, I had the potential to have the money when I was on the street, but I just left it because I needed to learn. I needed to grow spiritually, and I needed to listen to God. I needed to learn to hear Him, His soft voice. And some people are rougher than others. So if you think you got a hard trot in life, it's just because He loves you and He wants you to just come to Him and just be yourself. The more you let go of yourself and control, the more you're going to be yourself in who He wants you to be, because He's in control ultimately.
That's an incredible vision that God's given you to touch, because that's changing lives, 70 lives.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, how did you come to contact with those 70 orphans?
I worked up north a lot when I was younger, and I was just on the toilet, and I was just thinking, Lord, this is a waste of life. I spend 12 hours here a day. I'm not happy. And I just got into a conversation with God, and I just said, can you give me somebody I can tithe to? Can you give me somebody I can help with? And He honoured me with that, and He opened a doorway, and a random message come through on Facebook. Don't worry, it's all legit. He's not a scam. He's not filtering money from Australia. He just give me a small group of people, and this one young gentleman is a brilliant man, Brother Mark over in Africa. He was like, please, I don't know how, we don't even know how we met, but it was just the door opened from God. So I eventually built a relationship in the last 7 years with this young man who's an incredible wise man of God, and just very loyal. And, he sacrificed his life looking after these orphans. Some of the children some of their parents, we think we got it hard over here. We do, because we got the worldly, so much of the world here, we can just go do what we want, do you know what I mean, if we're not disciplined. But over there, he's sacrificed his life to look after these kids and to honour God, and it's a real testimony to himself. He's a brilliant man, and I love the kids, and just to be able to help out is because there's more to life than just the houses and cars and things like that, I believe. After God also put me on the street as well to realise that I don't really need much to live off. It's one of the reasons why I love my wife so much as well, because we've lived off of very minimal wages for a while, and we're content with little, and I think with that, God is going to honour us with that. And if we do steward our money correctly, I'm not doing it to get something in return. I'm doing it out of the love of my heart and giving, because that's who I am. But for Him to, He's a good Father. He will just bless us in the end.
Yeah, He's a good Father, and it's faithful. We can trust ourselves to God, And so maybe people can know about the ministry. What is the name of the ministry and in which country in Africa?
Heavenly Hands, I've got to open it up, and it's in Uganda.
Uganda.
I've forgotten the name of the town, sorry.
Is it the capital city or is
No,
it
it's a town.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a small village with 70 kids. He just goes out and scouts for the kids who are having trouble, and he finds them and he brings them in. You know, we can only afford to feed them once a day at the moment, but the bigger picture is to having a bit more sustainable meals, consistency, no lack, you know, just toilet paper, amenities, running water and things like that.
If anybody wanted to become involved, could they contact you?
They could contact me, absolutely, guaranteed. I'd love that. He would love that. The kids would appreciate that as well.
No, and I think for us in the Western society, often we see, like you said, possessions, but we realize life is about much more than that. And when you can make a difference in someone's life and see that, often it changes our lives. Is there something you would like to, maybe some final words you'd like to share with us?
I didn't go into depth about too much of my past at the start, but I grew up with molestation and rape and incest, very violent people. Like, there's not much I haven't seen or been through in my life. My father died of a heroin overdose when I was 9. My grandfather died of a drug overdose. I was doing drugs at the age of 15. God encountered me in these times, but I didn't take it seriously because I was disobedient. The sooner we really switch on, and because the day's approaching, where it's getting close, as soon as we switch on to, like, he is the only way to live, even if it was for a moral guide, all about the people you hang around, because the Christian community is a beautiful community and it's full of beautiful people and the love that they accept. And I love how they don't judge. They don't judge you on what you've done as the world does and what you've been through or where you come from. They'll take you from your clean self, your righteous self, which Jesus has done on the cross for us, and they'll love you and accept you and welcome you with open arms. And that community of Christ is what I want to be with. And I've just felt this sense of community that is a glimpse of heaven, as it is on earth, as it is in heaven, as the prayer says. Just that the body of Christ it saved me as well, because I surrounded myself with some beautiful people. As soon as we smarten our act up and start doing what God wants us to do, He'll open doors in such a way that you're in awe, that you can't help but to say, well, I can't believe this. Do I really deserve this? But He doesn't judge you on your past. He judges you on where you are in your relationship with Him.
And I think that's very comforting, that we have a God that wants to grow us in a relationship, and the past is not important. It's the future He has for us. And if we can have a wonderful future with the Lord, and there's no life that He cannot change, and no future that He can give you opportunities to serve Him. And we pray, we trust this opportunity that God's given you to mentor these 70 people, young people, would be a life-changing in their lives, but also for you and your family.
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank you for sharing your testimony today. And if there's anyone who would like to be involved, please contact Luke Bradley, and his contact details will be available afterwards. Thank you for spending this time with us.
It's my pleasure. I hope I've done you justice, Lord.
And you've shared from your heart, and that's what the Lord wants. Just share what He's placed in our heart. And thank you.